dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. We begin tonight with some breaking news out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That is where reports coming in just in the last few moments suggest at least one gunman is shooting at police. There is a massive police presence with dozens of police cars and officers, many of them with their guns drawn. The CBS station in Philadelphia is reporting now at least 5 Philadelphia police officers have been shot. That is, again, the CBS station out of Philadelphia reporting at least 5 Philadelphia police officers shot in this active shooter incident. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story and bring you any major updates, and there will, of course, be much more coming up at 6:30 in an hour on the CBS Evening News. A southern Kentucky community will soon have a new facility to house its inmates. Construction is almost finished on the new Laurel County Detention Center, which is more than double the size of the existing lockup. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on how the jailer says the new facility will help solve a serious overcrowding situation and save the county money as well.
Built for 300, more than 550 inmates are now crammed into close quarters at the Laurel County Jail. There's space for more than 600 at the new jail.
The officers will walk in to do their hourly cell checks. They won't have to step over people.
10 inmates will stay in dorms with 5 bunk beds. Some have to sleep on the floor now.
Now, there's not a big difference in laying on concrete on a mat or laying on steel bunk in a mat, but it does create tremendous safety issues with when the officers are inside the cells doing cell checks.
The new jail is quite massive. It's 105,000 square feet, covering 15 acres, costing about $24 million.
There may be a
Mosley says over time, the new jail will save the county money and housing inmates from other areas.
Basically be getting a new facility, paying for that facility, and spending nearly $1 million less each year than we are to remain in the one that we have.
It's never a good thing to have to build a larger building to lock people up, but Mosley says they do have numerous programs to minimize their population.
Our goal is to make this the last day of each inmate that comes into the facility. But the reality of it is when the community grows, that element of crime or criminal activity grows along with it.
After a renovation of its own, Mosley says the old jail will likely be used to house female inmates. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Mosley says the utilities and other components of the jail are being constructed in such a way to make it extremely cost-effective.
And we've been dealing with those clouds on and off throughout the day, along with those very isolated rain chances, but a lot of us now seeing those mostly sunny skies. We'll go ahead and take you to a few of our cameras. We're going to start at the Mountain Parkway over into Powell County. They're one of the ones dealing with those mostly sunny skies. And looking down into Whitesburg, you'll notice a few more clouds over there, but overall they are still seeing plenty of sunshine. And as we go ahead and take a look at the loop over really the past couple of hours, those isolated rain chances have been popping up here and there, been very fast hitting. We've had a few here in Hazard, but the sun has shined right afterwards very quickly. Pulaski County, you guys have been seeing those isolated rain chances. I feel like I've talked about a lot about you guys this afternoon, so you've just been seeing those pop-ups here and there, but the rest of us have definitely been on the dry side, and that'll really continue as we head into the next couple of days. It's definitely hot out there, mid to upper 80s, maybe in some spots into the 90s, looking out into Richmond, even into Lexington. A little bit cooler down into Harlan at an 81 degrees. Dew points in the upper 60s to lower 70s, making it feel a little bit on the muggy side, but we're going to hang on to those clouds and the heat and humidity as we head into the rest of those evening hours. We'll start to cool off as we head into tonight, and we'll continue to be drier as well. Have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, Paige, thank you. Breathitt County Judge Executive Jeff Noble is still the talk of the county after his indictment Monday for allegedly buying lumber with county money for personal use. This morning, the county held a fiscal court meeting without him, discussing a declaratory judgment action after magistrates claim he's been breaking the law for a while. Noble's bond has also dropped to a $20,000 surety bond. WYMT's Emily Bennett has the latest.
Breathitt County Judge Executive Jeff Noble under fire. On Monday, he was indicted and faces 3 charges after allegedly buying lumber with county money and giving it to a person in the county for personal use.
We didn't have no clue, you know. He can spend up to $20,000 anytime without court approval.
Noble's lawyer, Derek George Campbell, says the lumber was going to a resident, but to fix a bridge on county property.
This bridge in question was erected by the county. It has been continuously maintained by the county. And since that is the case, the county has an obligation to ensure that it remains as such.
Noble's bond was originally set at $250,000, but that has now been reduced.
It was a big difference, you know, $250,000 cash down to $20,000 surety bond and no rest to be made. I thought that was a big change.
Now the fiscal court is coming forward with a declaratory judgment action after the court claims Noble did not follow the law on personnel issues and disregarded decisions the court made in meetings Noble did not attend.
We're just giving the county attorney authority to do whatever action he has to get the county judge executive to comply with the law.
Campbell claims Noble attended all meetings besides ones called improperly, and the magistrates are overstepping their bounds.
There is a misunderstanding on a lot of fronts as to the nature of executive functions and to the nature of legislative functions.
Misunderstandings everyone wants answers to. In Breathitt County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, we have not been able to speak with Noble yet. We are told he is still on vacation with his family. An officer-involved shooting in Louisville leaves one person dead. It happened last night in the city's East End. Officials say they were called out for a domestic violence situation. When they got there, the suspect pointed a gun at officers. Police shot the man, killing him. No officers were hurt. 2 people went to the hospital after being hurt in the domestic violence incident. A man wanted for murder in Eastern Kentucky is now in an Ohio jail. Investigators say James Reed shot and killed Lawrence McCoy at a home in Ashland. The shooting happened last night. Police arrested Reed just after 3 a.m. in Ohio. He's being held without bond in an Ohio jail. Police say the shooting was related to a domestic incident. Reed will be extradited back to Kentucky. While many schools across the region are entering a new year, one former school in Pike County is about to be in the history books. The Camp Creek Schoolhouse began serving students in the Stopover community in the late 1890s. It served as a church and a school for 70 years before it was turned into a home more than 40 years ago. Now the building's use has come to an end. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more.
An old building.
Oh, when they built it, they built it good.
Once full of life and youth.
This is the last old original one-room schoolhouse that's still standing in Pike County, to my knowledge.
But that former schoolhouse, which has been nestled in the Camp Creek community for more than 120 years, will not be standing much longer.
I had every intention when I first started tearing into it to try to save it, but unfortunately, it's just too far gone now.
Josh Mayhorn's grandparents went to school there, and after the school shut down in the late 1960s, they eventually lived there.
It's sad in a way because, I know the historical value of it and all the memories that I've had growing up here.
But Mayhorn is not the only person with memories.
I got my hind end busted all the time.
Clell Blankenship was a student at the one-room school until it closed.
She rung that bell right there at the door. We had to line up, the girls on one side, boys on the other side.
Blankenship says the discipline is not the only thing he remembers. Generations of family memories are also contained in the once sturdy walls.
It'd be sad to look over here and hitting out there, but he's going to build back. If I live, I'll help him.
Mayhorn is now the owner of the property and is planning to build his home there. And he wants to build something that looks similar to the old school.
I know it won't be the original, but when people come, they'll look at it and it'll remind them of what used to be here.
He says it is a way to honor the history of his family and community. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Mayhorn says the building will be open for a few more weeks to anyone who wants to contact him about taking photos or to just stop by to share their memories. After that, he expects to begin demolition. University of Louisville trustees approved the school's purchase of a financially struggling hospital under a plan that would include a $50 million state loan. The deal will significantly increase U of L's footprint in the medical sector of Kentucky's largest city. Under the deal, U of L would purchase the greater Louisville market assets of Kentucky One Health Incorporated, which includes Jewish Hospital. Half of the $50 million loan would be forgivable if job retention and other conditions are met. Today, Democratic gubernatorial nominee Andy Beshear released a plan aimed at producing more Kentucky jobs tied to farm technology and advanced manufacturing. Beshear calls it his kitchen table agenda. The plan includes starting business accelerators and expanding access to credit to recruit agritech and advanced manufacturing operations to Kentucky. The current Attorney General is challenging Governor Matt Bevin in November. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the Dow sinks 800 points after the bond market flashed a warning sign about a possible recession for the first time since 2007.
And we're going to continue to see plenty of sunshine over the next couple of days, but as we head into the weekend, we're going to see those temperatures on the rise. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
Baptist Health Corbin is teaming up with local schools to try and save the lives of student athletes. We'll have the details coming up.
When you see news happening